Good, man. Good, nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
That was a good catch?
Yeah, that was okay, yeah.
Good.
They said it's signed, sealed, and set for November. It's done. That's the claim racing around boxing socials. But here's the truth. The WBO has ordered Oleksandr Usyk to negotiate with Joseph Parker. The clock's ticking, and there is no official deal on the books, yet. The 30-day window closes fast, and signs point to radio silence from Team Usyk. Silence loud enough that some insiders think the champ might just hand back the belt rather than be pushed into this one. That's not a headline, that's the landscape, and it might be the most dramatic part of the story so far. Usyk's aura is real. He didn't just win, he made it look inevitable at Wembley, walking Daniel Dubois into a left-hand thunderbolt that snapped the night shut in 5. That finish wasn't a lucky punch, it was a culmination. Angles, tempo traps, and a southpaw brain that sees 2 moves ahead. He came in with 3 belts, left with everything that matters, and reminded the division what genius looks like when it's mean. If you thought he was slowing, that performance felt like a rebuttal signed in neon. So why is Joseph Parker the name that won't go away? Because receipts matter. He dismantled the Wilder myth with discipline and nerve. When the right hand didn't spook him, the heavyweight world took notice. He outfoxed Zhilei Zhang over 12, even after tasting the floor, then iced Martin Bakolian too, like a man who refuses to wait his turn ever again. That streak isn't hype, it's a portfolio. And it's exactly the kind of resume that turns mandatory from paperwork into pressure. Here's where the plot twists. Legends aren't throwing shade at Usyk, they're circling Parker as the one opponent who can actually make the champion uncomfortable. Roy Jones Jr., a man who lived the jump across weight classes, says Parker is the hardest assignment out there for Usyk. Not a guaranteed upset, not a hot take for clicks, just a veteran read on timing, experience, and the specific way Parker closes distance without getting greedy. If you're hearing that from a guy who built his career on beating angles with angles, you listen.
Usyk is a guy who can do whatever he wants to right now. He vacated the IBF, he went and got it back. You understand me? So it's just fun for him right now, so he can do whatever he wants to do, and he can fight whoever he wants to fight. Joseph Parker is the best fight for him right now because Joseph Parker is a guy who has the qualities and the experience that it would take to give Usyk the hardest time. I'm not saying he's gonna beat Usyk by no means, but he will give Usyk the hardest time with anybody. And if anybody, I think if they said, Roy, you had to take one guy right now, put your money on against Usyk, who would it be? It would be Joseph Parker.
But boxing isn't just styles and belts anymore, it's also geography and gatekeepers. Saudi cards are reshaping the sport in real time, and one name, Turki Al-Sheikh, sits at the center of every big fight rumor board. The same machine that staged Usyk's latest triumph is already floating alternate scripts, including a shock matchup with 20-year-old Moses Aitama. That idea drew instant fire from Tony Bellew and others. Thrilling talent, wrong time. If the money men chase spectacle, the WBO letter becomes the last line holding the sport to merit. And that tension, business versus order, is exactly why the Parker fight feels both obvious and somehow endangered.
Well, you was a smaller guy that went up and won the world heavyweight title, one of the only ones to do that from middleweight up to heavyweight. You know, how does someone beat Oleksandr Usyk? Is it the smaller guy? Is it the guy that's coming up in the weight divisions, you know, as opposed to the bigger heavyweights?
No, the bigger guys could beat him, just gotta have the right fight plan. None of these guys fighting with the right fight plan. And I'm not gonna tell them the right fight plan because that's not my job to do. But you gotta have the right fight plan to fight Usyk. If you don't have the right fight plan, he's gonna destroy you. You go out there trying to knock him out, he's gonna destroy you. And most of those guys that go out with the idea, oh, he's small, he came up from cruiserweight, we're gonna take him out. Wrong answer, you're not gonna take him out. He fought Gaisov, who was an even stronger puncher than most of these heavyweights are, and Gaisov couldn't do nothing with him. You know what I'm saying? Gaisov was one of the hardest punches I've seen in quite some time, and Gaisov didn't give him no real opposition, basically, you know? So for these guys to think a one-punch guy's gonna beat Usyk, that's not gonna happen.
Strip away the noise and look at the ring. Usyk's path to victory is the familiar masterpiece. Southpaw lead hand feints that jab the eyes more than the face, quarter-step exits that make you reset before you finish the thought, and body line zigzags that keep right hands swimming through air. He wins rounds in 5-second bursts. Win the entry, win the exit, let the judges do the math. Parker's path is narrower, but real. Take away the setups, not the punches. Frame on the shoulder, punch through the center while Usyk is still shifting, and sit him down with the same quiet violence that unstitched Bacoli. You don't hunt the head of a mover, you interrupt him. And if Parker can hold the middle without chasing shadows, he can bank moments that look like rounds. And there's also the clock. 38 in heavyweight years isn't a crisis, but it is a factor, and you can hear it in the way coaches talk when they're off the mic. Respectful voices, Robert Garcia among them, have floated the idea that there's nothing left for Usyk to prove, and a sad ending is always one overreach away. The counterpoint is written on Usyk's face every time a camera finds him. This is a man who still loves the work. Maybe that's why the debate keeps raging, because both things can be true at once. Greatness wants another hill, bodies keep score, and somewhere between those truths is the moment a legend decides which story he wants to tell. So what actually happens next? The simplest path is the cleanest. Usyk signs, Parker walks in as the most deserving challenger, and we finally get the fight that makes competitive and moral sense. The messy path is the one boxing knows too well. The champion vacates, the belt gets reshuffled, and fans are left arguing about who's king of a hill that just moved. Watch the deadline. If there's no deal by late August, purse bids loom and the dominoes start falling fast. That's where promoters, broadcasters, and sovereign budgets can turn a straight road into a roundabout. Here's my read on fight night. If we get it. Usyk starts like a chess grandmaster speedrunning an opening book, letting Parker's feet show their tells. Early rounds, shapes and shadows. By 4 and 5, Usyk is painting to the body, then stepping out on the half beat to steal the eye line. Parker's moments come when he refuses to over-pursue, anchors the center, and fires that right hand through the blind spot just as Usyk pivots. If he stings Usyk there, clean and with his feet still under him, this fight becomes a coin spinning on a tabletop. If he doesn't, the scorecards start leaning the same way they always lean against Usyk, towards the man who makes fewer mistakes more often. And that's why the "it's done" chatter won't die. Not because a date is signed, but because the matchup answers every question we ask about champions. Does merit still matter? Can a great fighter beat the system as easily as he beats opponents? Is timing just a calendar word, or the secret ingredient that changes everything when two elite heavyweights finally share a ring? For Parker, this isn't a payday. It's the elevator that only opens once. For Usyk, it's legacy admin, the necessary test that turns a perfect resume into a closed case. One last thought to carry into the comments. If you are in Usyk's corner, would you risk the mandatory to satisfy the purists? Or would you chase the bigger theater and let the belt go? And if you were Joseph Parker, how do you fight a ghost? By swinging at it, or by making it bump into you first? Question for you. Is Parker the toughest fight Usyk can take right now, or just the fairest? Drop your pick in your score prediction below. If this gets signed, we'll break down exact round-by-round adjustments both men used in their last 3 fights to set traps for each other next.